Taurus.
Hello Taurus, this is your October forecast for 2013, and this month it's all about how you're going to strategize organize your day-to-day routines, how you can streamline things and make things more efficient for you. You might be looking around your desk, you might be looking around your house, clearing out closets and drawers and so forth. Those things that can make your life just flow a little bit more efficiently in the long run. And you know how it is, we put it all nicely together and it lasts for a long time until it starts coming a little bit out. It starts flowing a little bit and then we have to go back over it again. So it's this time of year that you get to do it really thoroughly. Good, nice house cleaning, and also at work on your desk and so forth too. And you'll see how you're just going to actually love to do those things that you normally hate to do. So the sun and the new moon is going to be in this area. And the new moon is with us October 4th. So that would be the day where you put down those seeds, those intentions, and say, you know what? I'm going to be really conscious of where I put my things right now so that I can just, go pick them up, with my eyes closed. That's when your life, everything else, just think feng shui. When things are in their right and proper place, you don't depress, you don't get clogged. Everything that's around us in our daily life affects us and how we think, how we work, how we feel. When we see clutter, it will clutter up this whole channel here emotionally and mentally as well. So it's a great month to really get into that Virgo energy that this represents. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo, even though you're a Taurus, but this is where the energy, the focus, the spotlight will be on. So plant those intentions and say, I'm going to be better about, doing small cleanups throughout the whole year and not just wait till it kind of heaps up. That is the perfect intention for you here this month, Taurus. Then we have Venus here, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, and the Moon node in your 7th house of relationships. So this month you will see that there will be a lot of focus on communication, how you communicate, what you communicate. Saturn is also those things that is trying to structure itself between you and your partner, whether this is a spouse or a significant other. It could also just be a working partner too, which the 7th house also rules. And so some serious talks can come, especially when Mercury is going to touch upon Saturn here. The date to be aware of this here will be around the 6th. Anything scheduled on this date will give you a sense and a feeling of seriousness and karmic structures between you and your partner as well. Whatever comes up, whatever is expressed, Mercury communicates. There might also be papers, documents, contracts, those kind of things coming up here on this very date too. That will have significant importance, not just in the here and now, but also as you move along. So it's important that you read the fine print. Now, if this is with your spouse, well, you guys might have a serious talk about what you want to do with joint resources, because that's what's coming up. So you may be planning it now, but then Mercury is going to be moving into your 8th house of joint resources here in a little while. But not quite yet, because Mercury is going to turn retrograde this month. So the talks you have on the 6th, put that on your chart, is important. But it may not be the time that you want to sign. You can sign, because Mercury is still direct at this time. If you're ready to make any big commitment, do it then. If you linger a little bit longer, well, Mercury is going to turn retrograde on the 21st. It will move back through this area and back into the 6th house, where you're going to be thinking and restructuring, perhaps maybe even changing your mind and having a change of heart on whatever that agreement was. You won't know before it turns direct, and not before November 11th. But then it's still in your 6th house, so it's going to take time to pick up speed throughout November before it comes into December and before it's going to be moving beyond this very same point that it has on October 6th. Maybe not before sometime way out there in December. So, yeah, if you need to sign, do it now. If not, wait to mid or late December for this kind of seriousness. Now, if this is a working relationship we're speaking of, the same thing goes for it too. Any contracts in, say, new business or taking on something, make sure you're pretty ready for it now. Just so, you don't get too close to the retrograde date, and definitely not under retrograde for anything in partnerships should happen under a Mercury retrograde. So that is the most important message here this month, but we got more to share. We have Venus in this area of a committed relationship, so it is a good month to share and be open and be warm. You've had this throughout the latter part of September, and if you're looking at this on the September end of this reading, well, then you already know what I'm talking about, because it's nice and warm and fuzzy and romantic and deep, because Venus is in Scorpio, and that allows us to go that extra length, to go to those deeper layers into the core of ourself and our partner, and or your partner also relating with you and to you on matters that normally might be a little secret or private or so forth, but this can come up now and be revealed, and I think a lot of you will be quite happy for it. Enjoy this time, because Venus will be moving out of the partnership area on October 6th. It's going to move into the 8th house. But then again, see, what is really nice about that is whatever you're sharing, whatever you're relating with now, it's going to take a deep dive into a deeper type of intimacy. It's a very sexual house as well, but it's like you're going to be seeing. It's like you're preparing now to see some new sides, new facets of your partner here from the 7th and then onwards as it journeys through the 8th house. We have Pluto in your 9th house, so yes, there is still a lot of restructuring going on in the way you see the world and the way you see yourself and your place in the world. The 9th house is how we think, our philosophies, the way we ideally would love to see the world, and it might be a little difficult for some of you. Pluto could be quite tough, and yet again though, the beauty of Pluto, the higher dimensions of Pluto, is the ability for transformation, and this is what you guys are going to be experiencing. It's a long path that you're carving, okay? It's going to be in this area for many years, but step by step you'll see how one situation and life event will deepen you, because that's what Pluto does. It takes us deep into our core, our inner spirit, and you'll see how as these life changes, which Pluto does, will not just deepen, but as we deepen, we also open our chakras, we open our scope. We'll start seeing the world in new ways, and that transformation is something you wouldn't have wanted to be without, in the aftermath. It's really, really mature growth, evolution, so to speak. We also have a full moon this month here, Taurus, and this full moon is going to be on the 18th. It's going to fall into your 12th house. The full moon is when you can reap for those seeds that you've planted earlier. And for you, it will be a time of retreat. It's going to be in your 12th house. This is when we pull back a little bit, where we're not too much out in public, but where we're realigning ourselves, on the inside, so to speak, and where we can treat ourselves, spa ourselves. Just lay down with a book, and or meditate, or go do some yoga and so forth. This is the best thing you can do here on the 18th, and then you will still feel the rays of this full moon. It's like a 3-day phase. The exact will be on the 18th, but you'll bring some of these lunar rays into your first house here on the 19th, coming into your first house. This will allow you to come back out and shine, and then it's going to be in your sign. See, because the 18th, it's in those very late degrees of Aries. Okay, so you're finalizing a whole month, what this whole month represented to you. So you're going to feel a little exhausted. But then there on the 19th, still a full moon, radiating really strong in how you present yourself out to the world, which the first house is all about. And that first house is you. You rule this house here in your solar charts. So it's like having a sun and a full moon at the same time. So that should be a great time here on the 19th. You know, go out and have fun, meet some friends, do something for yourself is what it's all about there. We have Mars in your 4th house here in October, Taurus. And for you, it's like, I won't say a tug of war, but what it is, it's definitely you putting a lot of energy on the map of how to move through this time. And this was also true for you in September when Mars was also transiting through here. So there might have been extra issues with the family. Mars is the warrior, you know, so you've probably had to expend a whole lot more energy here latter part of September coming into throughout all of October. But then it's going to move and change signs out of this. So you'll have some relief. Maybe some of you were working on your house, you know, carpeting, redoing or remaking or something, upgrading. But from the 15th, you will find some relief, some pressure coming out here. Then it's going to move into a very nice area of your chart. This is when you can start having some fun again, okay, from October 15th. It will tour there for a while. The 5th house is all about joy, leisure, dancing, sculpting, video photography, music. Go out and just do whatever it is you love to do, when hobby basis kind of stuff. Now some of you might even find some love in this month here after the 15th, as the 5th house is all about love and relationships, not committed relationships like the 7th house, but new love or just out and about dating and so forth. So it could be an active time here in October, and several weeks ahead will you have this ability to do so. Then we have on the 19th, Mars is going to be opposing Neptune. Now that can be dreamy, okay? It can really, if you meet somebody new, say you're a female and you meet a man here around the 19th, you might see him through rose-colored glasses where he just seems too good to be true. And you will find him in an 11th house environment. And what is that? It means you might be out with a group of people, a new group of people perhaps. And he just seems to be a little different from what you're used to. And you might project all of these Neptunian feelings upon him. Neptune is in this 11th house. Mars is just transiting, you know, through this area. So it might be something that's short-lived, because the transit of Mars is just a few weeks, whereas Neptune is going to be up in this area for years yet to come. But, you know, embrace it. Have fun with it. Just be real and true to yourself and whoever it is you meet, if it is a new person. Then we have Mercury Retrograde taking place here this month, and we always like to focus a little extra energy on our retrogrades and what they're going to do. Here it will be on the 21st of October, and it will move into November 11th. So three and a half weeks here, you're going to be, for you, transiting through your 7th house, relationships, and you're going to be moving into there to a certain degree. Then it's going to backtrack into the 6th house of trying to figure out, analyze what it is you just spoke about, what the whole deal was with your partner. This partner doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be a long-term either spouse, but it could also be a working relationship. So you might have moved ahead on certain issues that have been important to you. And for example, now needing to go back over and rethink what it is that you've just started. Is this something you want to continue to do in the future? You know, you might backtrack and double think these things, and back into Libra. Libra wants to, balance everything, and but it's in the house of Virgo, so a lot of analytical thoughts going on there. So, it's never a good time to buy new things. We always say that under Mercury Retrograde, but this is more like, I feel, for this retrograde, it's going to be more emotional for you, and intellectual, trying to figure out, tweak those things that are going to be important for you in the long run. So what do we else have here? Jupiter is still wanting to move around a little bit. Not saying necessarily moving house. That's going to come. I think where you are today is good enough. But you might already start thinking about what you want to do with your immediate surroundings. But it will be more, I would say, for you next year. From summer of 2014 and then onwards throughout all of 14 to summer of 2015 is when I see you're going to be making some long-lasting changes or moves. Then we're talking physical move of residence. So that's not too much now. For now, it more looks like you might be a little antsy, wanting to get up and around, out and about. There might be friends or family, siblings or whatnot that may want to come for a visit, or you may just, really want to go visit and share some time with them as well. So this is pretty much what we have here for this month for you, Taurus. We have a day of surprise. I always like to look at those Uranian energies throughout the month because they come so unexpectedly. And if they're well aligned, well, then it could be a good surprise. And it is well aligned with Venus. So that could be a day to put on your chart, which is the 16th. That could be love and romance. It could also be something financial, which Venus also rules. And in that case, it might just feel like it's coming right out of the blue sky for you. And but lo and behold, it might be something that you deserve, something you worked for that finally is going to come together for you. So pay attention. A day perhaps before, so the 15th, 16th, 17th are really good days for it. So, and then, yes, we'll end the month here, Taurus, for you, that anything that needs to have a big push of energy, if you need to do it earlier in the month, go for it, but we always want to see where our rhythms are, our biorhythms and so forth. On the 31st, you're going to have Mars and Pluto together in a beautiful trine. What that does, well, Mars is that physical energy that pushes through, and Pluto is like the tsunami of that energy. It's like you get an automatic lift. So if you have any physical things that need to be done, wait to the end of the month and it will be effortlessly for you at that time. So I wish you the very best here, Taurus, for October. It's always wonderful to meet you and join with you each and every month. And before we end, do go listen to your moon sign and rising sign. And I'll see you next month. Bye now.